Well, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I want to talk about how the Kundalini will strip away all of your addictions and how this process works and how it looks. And I'm going to share from my own experiences. So prior to my Kundalini awakening, I was a major addict. I was really mostly addicted to, first of all, sex. That's a big one. And there is an argument, can someone really be addicted to sex? But if we're using sex as as a way to avoid our pain, then yeah, you're addicted to sex. I was also addicted to marijuana. Needed it towards the end there. Leading up to my Kundalini awakening, I needed it pretty much every day. I was addicted to gambling, which coincidentally enough, I was gambling for a living right up to my Kundalini awakening. I was a professional poker player, moderately successful. I was addicted to alcohol earlier in my life and a little bit towards the end there. I was addicted to negative emotion and negative thoughts. Those are big ones, which lead to a lot of other compulsive and impulsive habits, and actions. But also addicted to more harmless things, sugar, technology, that kind of stuff, right? So when my Kundalini awakened, when that energy really erupted and started flowing in me, I was forced to give up everything. Oh, I was also in my pre-awakening stage, before the Kundalini, before it really erupts, it can slowly start surfacing, and this can lead to a really deep depression. A lot of people will report having a very dark night of the soul experience right before their full Kundalini awakening. And that was for me too. So when I was leading up to my awakening, when I was going through some severe darkness, I got really addicted to cigarettes. I tried to quit cigarettes every day for 3 months or maybe longer, and just couldn't. I couldn't quit them at all. And I was smoking 8 to 10 a day, which is crazy for me because I was never a smoker before. I was just so depressed and didn't know what the fuck to do. So going outside and smoking a cigarette was the only thing I could do for reprieve. So that's kind of my story of addiction leading up to my awakening. I think I covered everything. So then the energy starts flowing and it gets crazy. I'm going through this mini psychosis, and that happens for a month or two, a month and a half. And then I kind of settle down. And during this time, I'm not drinking, I'm not smoking weed. Oh, I was also super addicted to caffeine. I think most people are. And that's not even something people say because it's just so normal. But I was really, really addicted to caffeine. And when my energy, the Kundalini energy, started flowing through me, I wouldn't say flowing, that makes it sound pretty. When it was violently thrashing through me, shit. I was guided. I knew, I'm not touching anything. I tried anti-anxiety pills, and even that was nope, not happening. So I had to go cold turkey off everything. I knew a stimulant was the last fucking thing I needed to put in my body, so caffeine was gone. Alcohol just sounded terrible at the time. Still does to this day. And I'm not knocking it. Maybe I'll drink red wine or something one day. I don't know. But I mean, Eckhart Tolle drinks red wine, right? So I had to really just quit that cold turkey. Weed, I knew weed always made me paranoid and scared, even before my awakening, yet I would do it every day because it would bring me euphoria and the high as well. And I was there's no way weed's gonna... I didn't even know I was having a Kundalini awakening, guys, but I knew weed was not gonna mix well with whatever was happening with me neurologically. That was gone. And then cigarettes was they never felt good doing it, but it was the one thing I could kind of hang on to a little bit. And cigarettes just kind of slowly phased out. I haven't had a cigarette in probably like a year and a half or something. Maybe I had one like a little over a year ago. I don't know. But I was like having one or two a day, you know, and they were pretty much gone too. So right away, Kundalini took all of those substance addictions from me. The only one that stayed was sugar. And to this day, actually, I pretty much beat sugar now that it just dawned on me. Like, I haven't had sugar in almost a month. I mean, of course I have fruit and bread, and I'm talking about that dessert sugar, you know, like that I am in emotional pain. I'm gonna go eat a pint of Haagen-Dazs right now and throw a frozen pizza in the oven. Oh my God, guys, just real quick. When I was in Spokane going through some pretty tough times living alone, about exactly a year ago, I would go to the grocery store down the street and I would buy a frozen pizza, a frozen cheese pizza, gluten-free, whatever, sometimes not. And I would buy ice cream and whole milk. And the story, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but and I would just have to eat the whole pizza, and then I would just make this huge vanilla milkshake and eat that. And basically I was trying to shove down my trauma, you know what I mean? I was going through so much pain that I just felt a little overwhelmed, and I would just go fucking gorge myself on unhealthy food. But that's kind of a harmless thing to do. There can be more serious traps we can fall into with addiction, like I did fall into with sex. And I guess I'll talk about that a little bit. When we have an energetic awakening, we're gonna find that we're more energetically sensitive, and we're gonna find that everyone has like this electromagnetic flow current to them. Basically, everyone is just energy, you know? And when we have sex with someone, that's like the strongest, most powerful thing we can do to merge with another, obviously. And we basically are who we have sex with in a lot of ways. We take on so much of their electromagnetic energy, and it becomes like part of us for a while. And our bodies have these sophisticated memory systems, and there's a bunch of yogic science behind sex and the body. I would recommend Sadhguru for that. But anyway, so I didn't really realize all of this, and my sex addiction, it came on stronger when I had a Kundalini awakening, which makes sense because it is life force energy, and when you don't have the proper sadhana, I think it's called, meaning the proper like meditation practice, or mindfulness is another Western way of saying it. You don't know what to do with this energy, and you're just gonna act you're gonna act impulsively with it. And I was even more prone to like risky sexual encounters with people I didn't really know right away. And I quickly learned, though, it only had to happen like twice for me. I think it was twice. This is pretty personal vlog. Jeez, whatever. When I noticed right away, like, whoa, I felt the energy. I was like, dang, I just took on a lot of their energy. I remember one time in Spokane in particular, I slept with someone and I knew I shouldn't have. And that was part of the problem too, because, you know, our beliefs create our reality. And I had like so much terror coming through me after our sexual encounter that I was like, this isn't mine. This is not my fear. Because I had purged what feels like oceans of fear on this process, you know? That's been like the major thing for me. But there was a distinct difference to this feeling I had the day after this sexual encounter. There was just so much of this, just like this revulsion energy, like, and suicidal dark energy that I knew wasn't mine. I was like, these are not my thoughts, it's not my energy, what is this? And the next day, the person I had slept with called me, and she said that she broke the news to me that she told this other guy that she was seeing that she had slept with someone else, and he got suicidal. And she had recently been sleeping with this guy, and it was like, oh, she took on that energy and passed it to me, mixed with her own trauma. And it's not like I'm some angel. I've got my own, at the time especially, I had my own stuff that I was working through, but it was like, dang, this is real. This is something I have to show so much more discernment with. It was like a long, truthfully, that first day was pretty horrifying. Like I just remember pacing in my room saying, I'm so sorry, Kundalini, I'm so sorry, God, I will never do this again. I felt so bad for that other guy that he was in such darkness. And I just felt like I was really integrating and like helping him work through it because it had been passed through to me in a way, you know, because we're all energetically linked. And same with her traumas. And it's interesting, we all got in this triangle because that's what I attracted at the time, because a lot of my darkness was coming up. So this isn't to say like other people are worse than you and have lower consciousness, so don't sleep with, you know what I mean? It's not a judgment. It's just saying have discernment of what you're entangling yourself into in an energetic and sexual way, because it is super powerful if you have an awakened Kundalini. And it's something that you'll learn very quickly is not to be really taken lightly. And it's not to give you fear about sleeping with people you love and are connected with. This is not a fear-based thing I'm trying to spread. I'm just sharing an experience that happened with me with addiction and sex, and it was quite powerful. And so my compulsive and impulsive sexual desires after that really started fading. And I just started seeing like, you know, it's not worth it to just have sex for the physical gratification anymore. It's just not. I can only have sex if there's this pureness of connection, you know, if it's coming, what's the energy behind this? I was emailing with my friend Rich, and he beautifully said it, summed it up. It's not that sex is good or bad, or having multiple partners is even bad or anything. I don't even believe that, but what's the energy behind the movement, right? And if it was like, in my situation, a movement of fear, because I was going through trauma and I needed it, right, to satiate this urge, to quell an urge, then, you know, there's going to be obvious repercussions to that energetically. It's just kind of how the world works once we're going through an energetic awakening. So, yeah, there's no need to, if you love somebody and you're connected, it's going to be even more powerful. And I've also had that experience, and that is divine, and it's so amazing and radically transformative to have that type of connection too. So just know that that's how the Kundalini works. It's going to bring stuff up for you to see in a very intense way, so that you can be more balanced in your decisions going forward. Because if that wouldn't have happened, who knows what other things that would have led to, right? But because it happened, it really stopped me in my tracks and made me look in the mirror and start, like, you know, having a little bit more of an awareness of how my sexual energy was driving my actions in these ways that were not very helpful to anybody, and how for me to grow in awareness and for me to deepen into this awakening, that is something that I would have to let go of. And that is how the Kundalini is really going to make you let go of your addictions. It's just going to show you the negative consequences very loudly and very painfully. And that's how the Kundalini works. She is not messing around when it comes to liberating you from all your attachments, from all of your earthly desires, from all of your sense-driven, lust-driven, possessive-driven compulsions. She is liberating you from all of them, and she's doing it in a very short amount of time. It would take a lot of people lifetimes to break all these addictions that we're going to be breaking in, you know, who knows, years. So it has to be intense. There has to be intense pain, because that's the only way we're truly going to surrender our addiction. So some will fall fast: alcohol, weed, caffeine, Cigarettes, gone like nothing, you know? I don't even think about them anymore. It's not even like I don't feel like I'm missing anything at all. Sex took a lot longer. It's a very big one. You know, that's normal. If you have stronger addictions, they might take a while, but rest assured, the Kundalini will make it so that it's just not worth it to continue with it. And the most recent addiction I'm breaking is my addiction to this thing I'm speaking into, this phone. This is way harder than I thought, but sure enough, this is falling too, because anything that's separating me from knowing myself on a deeper level must go. And that's what I've learned in this process. So you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to do it at all, frankly. The Kundalini will do it for you, but try not to resist and fight it so much. And if you're getting these negative reflections of what your addictions are, if you're getting negative reflections of how your addictions are, you know, causing you pain and suffering, then that's just the Kundalini saying, okay, it's time to let go of this addiction, and do your best just to let it fall away. So that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I look forward to talking with you all next time. Namaste.